The small town of Darya Khan, nestled in the arid lands of Punjab, Pakistan, was a place where the days were slow and the nights echoed with silence. It was the kind of town where people knew one another, where secrets rarely stayed buried. Until the night, the graveyard whispered its horrors. The stench was the first sign, a nauseating odor that clung to the air, seeping into homes and unsettling the sleep of the townsfolk. It wafted from a crumbling house on the edge of town, a derelict structure that had long been shrouded in suspicion. Inside lived two brothers, Arif and Farman Ali men, who had always been considered strange, reclusive, gaunt, and shrouded in an unsettling silence. It was Khalid, the local gravedigger, who sounded the alarm. Early one morning, as the first light crept over the tombstones, he noticed something amiss. A fresh grave had been disturbed, the earth clawed apart. He peered closer and froze. The body of a young girl, buried just days earlier, was missing. The police arrived hours later, led by Inspector Adil Hussain, a man whose sharp instincts had solved more than a few peculiar cases in his career. Following the trail of the foul odor, they approached the Ali brothers' house. The door creaked open to reveal a scene from a nightmare. Bones scattered across the dirt floor, a cauldron simmering with an unidentifiable stew, and in a corner, the partially decayed head of the missing girl, Arif and Farman, were found sitting calmly amidst the chaos. Their hollow eyes betraying no emotion, they were arrested without resistance. The descent into darkness. Under interrogation, the brothers revealed their macabre secret. It began years ago, they said, when poverty and hunger had driven them to extremes. Their first act was an accident, a buried corpse unearthed during a rainstorm. Desperation led them to consume it, and something inside them changed. Hunger gave way to obsession, and obsession became compulsion. They began frequenting the graveyard under the cover of darkness, exhuming bodies with practiced precision. Children, women, the elderly, the dead became their feast. The flesh, Arif whispered during questioning, holds power. It's a connection to the beyond. His words sent chills down the spines of even the most seasoned officers. The trial became a media frenzy. The brothers' faces, pale and expressionless, were plastered across every newspaper in the country. Experts debated whether their acts were the result of mental illness or pure evil. The community was torn between horror and shame. Many avoided the graveyard entirely, fearing the lingering shadows of the brothers' deeds. The court sentenced them to 2 years in prison, a punishment many deemed too lenient. After their release, they returned to Darya Khan, but the townspeople wanted nothing to do with them. They lived in isolation, the house on the edge of town becoming a symbol of fear. Months later, whispers began to spread again. More graves disturbed, more bodies missing. When the police finally returned to the brothers' home, they found it empty. Arif and Farman had vanished, leaving behind only their chilling legacy. Some say they moved to another village, continuing their grim practices. Others believe they were swallowed by the very darkness they had embraced. The graveyard, however, remains a silent witness, its tombstones weathered but unyielding, guarding secrets that may never fully come to light.